making your way in the world today. You really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to two guys brew, ha ha. Cold Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode? All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to another episode. No, Craig, what's up?
See, I got another hello. I don't know if I want to do it on Brouhaha.
You're not going to do a Brouhaha. No, this isn't.
Making sure.
Brouhaha is like a normal podcast, not a whack job one called Garage Night that airs every Friday morning.
He can say whatever he'd like.
Enjoy your Monday morning, guys. Hope you're having a great week. You're listening to a Brouhaha.
Start the week with some beers.
With Sean McDonald, Cold Street Brewery, 1627 Cold Street in Enumclaw, Washington. Open 7 days a week. Come on down. First week of every month, first Friday of every month is the cruise. So come on down, grab a beer, watch the nice cars go by Cold Street. They actually shut the place down on the weekends other than that, where you can come out. There's a nice little beer garden. There's some campfire pits that you can sit around and drink.
Sorry, that was a little confusing. So the first Friday of every month, there's a cruise where the street itself is open, and
sorry about that,
fancy
guys.
Cars like cruise up and down.
But
otherwise, every weekend from Friday to Sunday, from Friday to 2 p.m. to Sunday 7 p.m., Cold Street, which is the main street right in the middle of Enumclaw, is closed down, and they bring out
fireworks and everything else. And so there's. Anyway, and then the first week, or first Wednesday every month, you'll have comedy night there. Get your tickets, $10 a spot. Get those fill up fast. You just had a VIP comedy thing too. You guys missed your chance at the VIP, but that will be showing up next year. Yep. First of next year to get in that. I get asked that
a lot. Like my VIP is a pretty elite group. I like to keep it small, and so my anniversary month is February. I started 2014 February. And so every February, that whole month, you can sign up for the VIP. And anybody that comes in gets VIP treatment for that month. VIP treatment.
Wear the Full Buddy Cast shirt as well. Get VIP treatment for that. 15% off. If you just tag yourself in a picture, you get 10% off. Take yourself and say Full Buddy Cast, Brouhaha in that tag. Tag yourself at the location, and you get 10% off. Always good. Here's the thing, guys. You guys may not think of it this way, but you're going to tip anyways, right? So just that percentage that you're going to tip, now that just goes to that. So you're going to spend the money anyways. We got Sean here. That was the voice that was correcting me on my own podcast very nicely.
Sorry, I thought this was my podcast.
No, it's our podcast.
You host it?
We're like, yeah.
Mom and Dad are fighting, Craig.
And then that voice is Corey Bentley and Craig Bentley from Garage Night.
I'd like to. It's great to have Craig and Corey here. These are two of my favorite testers. I test both beer knowledge and like my ideas of advertising, and they've been instrumental in trying to name beers for me. Of course, I have not accepted any of the names that they've come up with, but they come up with really clever, good names. So that's also why I love that I got them here, because what I'm trying to do tonight is we're going to, once and for all, we're going to determine the difference, if anybody can tell the difference between all of the light beers.
All the light beers?
All the stupid.
All of the lights?
All the stupid.
All the beers that I drink? Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why Corey's here. Yeah, so I'm going to fill up these. I'm going to get a sample of each one. It's written on the bottom what it is.
Okay. So do you want us to turn our heads?
No, it doesn't matter.
What are you just going to move it around like a Mariner game?
Well, I'm going to pour it. I'm going to pass it down.
Okay, well, I know what this is.
And then you're going to move it around.
Oh, so it is a Mariner game. So we're doing,
red boat.
We don't normally do this, but with many guests that we have,
they have different skill sets that we want to use them for.
We want to use them for. They are, like, for instance, if you guys can't see this right now, one guy's in a bandana and cut off shirt, has sunglasses on the back of his head. And then we've also got Another one of
that went through the slip and slide.
His brother. His brother's got a backwards hat plus a Kings like a basketball shirt from his softball days or basketball days.
Oh, this is a custom fantasy football jersey.
That's pretty sick. We need to start talking about that too. And then we've got Sean, who's got T-shirt, bald, shaved head.
It's fucking hot.
It is a great haircut, and also a long beard. And then you got me, who's in like a polo with like some shorts and bald head as well with the beard.
He's got to point it out that he's the only one wearing a collared shirt.
Yeah, sorry guys. Sorry, I take this professionally.
You guys do life lessons on Brew Haha?
Sure.
We do. We could do some way.
You want one?
Yeah.
Thirst is the worst. Have a beer.
Ooh, that's a new shirt.
That's why I bring them on.
That's
why I feed beers to them and I get ideas from them.
I will.
Can I ask a question?
I will never name a beer after whatever you say, but I will make a shirt after what you say.
Did you just think of that, or have you been like holding that?
No, I actually just thought about that.
Okay.
Farts are the tarts. Have a beer.
Those farts smarts.
Ooh. Give us.
I don't like where this is going. It's Travis doing the poop jokes again. When in doubt, you got to revert back to poop jokes.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
that's
so
true.
you kind of mentioned like last night. I had my VIP special.
VIP. Yeah.
So my VIP is an elite group. Try and keep it small so we can do events.
I have a question about your February thing you were saying. So like the whole month of February, you open it up, they can sign up. Is there a cap? Or is it anybody in February can do it?
Anybody in February. Okay. And that's why I have a lot of VIPs right now. It's almost like more than I really want. Because the more people...
Tax time.
The harder it is to like coordinate stuff. So part of the deal is like I know a lot of brewers and I go on beer tours all the time where I bounce around, and Craig, Corey have done that with me, where we go to different breweries and we'll go behind the scenes and we'll take a tour of the actual brewery, and then we'll bounce around to any of the breweries that are around it. So part of the VIP treatment is I'm going to do that. I have another good friend that has a bus company.
Oh, you're going to take like a tour with all the together. That's cool.
Yeah, but the drawback is if there's 100 people, that's really hard to coordinate that. Even this I had a private comedy night. I had.
Listen, okay, I can't tell poop jokes, but you can tell private comedy night where the jokes are about privates. Come on, that's low hanging fruit.
Yeah, missed again. Come on,
stick
to the poop.
All right, back to the poop.
Anyway,
I've listened to a lot of these shows. When you guys are talking about bringing the ha-ha.
Never happens.
Never. I think Rachel and
the
Emily
wah-wah.
both brought the
ha-ha
way better.
I think it just seems more of
we just need to have
Travis
them
trying
on,
and Sean being
show.
disappointed.
Dude, it is. It's like a dad and a son relationship right now.
I'm just glad to be here to see this live.
Let me have approval, Sean.
All right, so shuffle your cups. Shuffle
your cups. I don't know.
Okay. All right, so we got the three big names. We got the Budweiser, we got the Miller, and we got the Coors. Okay?
So Bud Light, Miller Light, Coors Light.
Yep, they're all the light ones.
Before we go on, I have one quick question for you, Sean. How hard was it for you just to open up and pour beers that
honestly,
were these beers?
It was harder to go to the store
and buy them.
Yeah, because I'm like, who's watching me right now? Like, and to point out, like I went and got solos of the Coors Light and the Bud Light. You can't get a solo 24 ounce of Miller Light.
Right.
I had to get a freaking half rack. You can't even get a 6.
Well, I just appreciate it because you did this so I could be included. So I appreciate it.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
I have another idea that you won't be as happy about, but
human centipede.
Yeah. Whoa. Let me drink these beers first.
So we have these three, and I just always like. So this kind of came from. There's a movie. It's pretty old now. It came out in the late '90s. It's called Beer Wars. It's a great film if you can find it on YouTube. It really goes in depth about how the big companies were trying to squash out the little guys. And one of the biggest things is they put out a lot of advertising. They put out the Bud Girls are going around. They give their electric signs to all these bars, da-da-da-da-da. And when you go into any random bar, like if you walked into Ski Inn or Cedars and you walk in there and you look around, like most of those people are drinking these beers. And you go up to them and you're like, well, why are you drinking those beers? Like, oh, it's so light. Like, okay, well, you're drinking a Miller Lite. I'd like to buy you a Bud. Oh, no. I can't drink a Budweiser. Like, I hate the taste of it. So my point of this experiment is, can you tell the difference between them? Okay. So we're going to start with, like, out of the three, what is your favorite? So Craig, what's your favorite out of the three?
What's the Bud one you put in here? Was it Bud Light or Budweiser?
Bud Light. They're all light.
They're all lights. They're all lights.
So I'm out of those three. I'm gonna take Miller Lite.
Miller Lite's your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. Travis.
Coors Light.
Coors Light.
I'd probably go Bud Light.
So Bud, Miller's.
Bud,
Coors.
Why aren't you Miller? I thought you'd be Miller.
He did
I
say
am
Miller.
Miller.
Oh, okay. So Miller, Coors, Bud.
Oh, it's perfect.
What's yours?
Nothing.
I know it's not.
They're all fucking
Gun to
shit.
head.
So here's the thing. So I'm going to have you guys identify them, and then I'm going to identify them, and I bet I get which ones are which.
I
Gun
bet
to
I
head.
don't get them.
I bet I'll kind of get them. All right.
So your favorite, and then what's your least favorite? Okay. So think of that. Keep that in your head, and then try these and go, and then stick out the one is the one that is your favorite, and then stick out on the side the one that's your least favorite.
Okay. All right.
And we're not looking at the bottoms yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, not till the end. So pick out.
Are we just supposed to do taste or just drink the whole thing?
It don't matter to me. Yeah. So quiet. So everybody's trying.
I think I got it. But okay. Least. I think I know what it is.
Ooh, these two are close.
Middle, and my favorite.
Okay.
I think I got it.
Favorite, middle, least.
Okay.
We got a little bit of temperature difference too. So
Well, that's why I was trying to do this quick while they're all still cold.
And not in a hot box of 400
just
degrees.
Just to be clear, the cans are still have perspiration on them, so they're
Yes,
all
they are.
still
They are.
purple.
They are.
They're still
Okay.
I mean, not hot.
Craig.
Okay, Craig, favorite beer?
okay, you look at it.
Yeah, Miller was your favorite.
What does that say?
Bud.
Does it?
That's a Bud
Bud.
Light.
Damn.
Warm.
Worst
Man.
one. Worst one.
We doing all favorites first? Or are we going?
Worst one.
Across?
What does that say?
Coors.
Oh, so at least the one that you said was your favorite is in the middle.
All right.
Okay.
So I think my favorite. This is Coors. It's Coors.
Ah.
And my least favorite is Bud, and I think this is Bud, and it's Bud.
Wow.
Somebody cheated.
Yeah.
No cheating.
We'll see how far off I am. I said Bud. And that's Coors.
So the flip side.
These two were close, so we'll see. Let's see, that one is Bud. So the Bud and Coors were the ones I got confused with there.
But your least favorite was Miller, and you thought it was Miller.
Yeah. My least favorite was Coors, though.
Okay.
But Coors was pretty close to Bud right there.
Okay.
I know they all are.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So now
And then
you.
we got Budweiser. Oh.
So what are we looking
Oh,
at?
no.
here?
I am off. Bud's in the middle. So I was going to go Bud, Coors, Miller.
Okay.
So I mixed up the Coors and the Bud.
So I win. I win $1 million.
You did.
Yeah, the Coors and the Bud were super close. Like way
They
close.
are
Well,
they are
my
super
biggest
close.
point of this whole thing is all the people that complain, they're like, no, I can only drink. They're all so freaking close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Here's the
Same.
thing. Full
They taste the
disclosure.
same.
I drank a beer and I thought, okay, this is Coors Light, and I put it in my favorite spot.
Oh, also,
And
full
then
disclosure, he's drinking White Claws.
Right.
We all had at least
Listen,
2 Miller Lights.
Listen, and then I drank another, and I was like, wait, no, this is Coors Light. So I did during my test think
Change it.
this is Coors Light. Then I took another bite or another drink. And I was like, oh wait, no, this is Coors Light. I was right, but the first one I thought for sure was Coors Light.
What's weird to me is the only one that tasted different to me was the Miller. Like
Yeah,
I really
the Miller.
could taste that difference.
It has a higher sweetness to it.
Yeah.
That's why I always know where the Miller is.
Yeah.
I wish you would have brought Pub Light too, so that we
I
could-
know. Honestly, I had thought about doing that too.
Yeah.
And then
and that would
because that'll be completely different.
Well,
after
Pub
all.
Light would have been
But
the
my
best out of
favorite.
all of these.
yeah,
so.
would have been my favorite too.
That was in my game plan, but my backpack when I'm riding the scooter, it only holds so much shit.
Yeah, you looked like a high schooler when you walked in that had stole beer from like a 76 station and then like shoved it in your high school backpack.
Is Pub Light one of your like top sellers? Like for you?
So it's second top seller.
Second?
Like overall. So it depends on the season because a lot of the seasonals sell really fast
Mhm.
and it will outsell the Pub Light, but the Pub Light is on all the time.
So it's like this the
Yeah.
base like
So-
station.
IPA sells 100% better than everything else.
You have a bunch of stuff.
And then the Pub Light is the next after that. And then it kind of goes, then it can vary between the brown or the amber.
But the
Just
Pub
kinda
Light's the
more-
only one you brew differently from the other ones. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So on Brew Haha, if you haven't listened before, I know you guys have, but if you haven't listened before, for the listeners out there,
Still have more of this shit.
we get beer nerdy. Beer nerd questions, beer nerd anything. Since we have two people on this podcast as well, named Craig and Corey, both huge nerds that I know, do you have any questions for the beer nerd, beer guru, Sean McDonald?
Oh, I've just been asking what I have.
Well, I got one question for Sean. I was going to ask him off air, but we'll put it on air now. So, your staff that you have, some of them are smaller women. Can they actually change out the kegs for you if a tap blows to put another keg on? Do they do that for you?
And how much do kegs weigh, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I mean they're pretty much.
Yeah, so 15.5 gallon keg. It weighs like 165, 155, something like that.
It's a dead body.
About the same as I do. A little bit more than me, actually.
Yeah.
So what I do is when I bring kegs in, I line them up and stack in like a lower keg I put on top. And then if that runs out, you take the tap and you untwist it and you drop it down to the one below it and you connect it. So, and then you have to pull the empty keg out. An empty keg shell is not light. It's, it's still a good,
30 pounds or something like that?
No.
Less than that?
Yeah, it's less than that. It's like 8 pounds, maybe 6 pounds, something like that.
But the system's set up to go one to another, so you don't actually have to.
So, you answer your question, I still feel like most of my girls could still, people come in to get kegs, and I've showed them how to, like, roll a keg, I'm not a big guy. I move kegs all the time. You just have to know how to move it. I feel like my girls could still move it, but I don't ask them to do that.
Sure.
Because I feel like it'd be too much.
Well, the reason for the question is that this last weekend we were down in Oregon, and you knew that. I sent you some stuff about we hit up a couple breweries down there, and the first night the brewery we went to, we were in there talking with the girl that was there. Super cool, super good brewery, and I got a sampler. I just wanted to try one before everything, and she blew the keg. Well, she said that she couldn't physically put the keg back on, and she had thought maybe that somebody there could help her.
Yeah.
But then she said, "Well, we probably can't do that because I was just curious how that works out. Because I've never been in that position before where you blow a keg and then somebody says, "Well, I can't put that back on."
It also depends on their keg situation. So what I do, I've built a walk-in that then has taps through the wall versus a lot of places like you go to the Rainier. It's taps on the bar, and that means that their refrigerator's right underneath those taps. And especially when you're talking big kegs, it's most likely it's like a big keg, then 2 little kegs, then a big keg, just to fit into that fridge. So little kegs, a 5-gallon keg, that's 25 pounds, give or take. And so that's super easy to be in and out. So like at the Rainier, when a keg blows there, a lot of times they'll ask like one of the servers will ask one of the kitchen staff to go get one. And even then, I know that I don't think the Rainier does, but I know that Jackson's has like a little scooter that even the kitchen staff, a guy will put it on a scooter and scoot it around. I totally recommend that too. save your
why wouldn't you?
No, I was just curious. I never had anybody say that before.
Was it like she was asking you to come help her do it?
I think so, but then I think she realized maybe I shouldn't just invite people in the back.
Yeah, you should not ask a patron to do that. But asking somebody else there to do that, or just getting a second person. Two people can do it.
And she was she was on her own, so I understood it. Yeah. I was just curious how that works out sometimes.
And that's just, like I said, it could be just the structure of their fridge, like how they store their kegs. So I have it stacked up perfectly, just boom, 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 boom. Yeah, they could just flip to the next.
We watched the security video, and Craig was running out the door with a keg.
You want me to help?
I'll help you. I'll help you take this keg to my car.
Hey, would you mind just going outside real quick? I'll be right back. I get a little nervous, a little gun shy.
Show me where it's at.
I imagine that wouldn't have been like a big deal, but it really comes down to like state law of having somebody else behind.
Well, I think it's more of an insurance issue.
Yeah.
If he goes back there and hurts himself,
Sure.
Which he would have just fell down.
Some drunk guy trying to show off for some cute little girl. Oh, I can lift this and crack. His back breaks.
Don't worry, little lady. I'll do this on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I
Could you
never
hold me just
want
for a moment?
patron
Just,
behind.
can I get a spot real quick, though?
Yeah.
Just hold my waist.
I was working out earlier this morning. I'm just really sore. Could you please? I'm pretty weak
I
right
don't
now.
have
leg
my
day.
weight belt with me. That's the only reason why I can't lift this
That's
right
why
now.
I can't do it. Any other fun little questions for the brewmaster? Anyone? Anyone?
Not that I can think of.
I mean,
Right now.
you're sitting down in front of greatness right now. I know it's intimidating.
That's why I don't have any
I know.
questions. I'm just in awe.
I'm so amazed that
So-
Corey is here.
We ask him all the
Corey-
stupid questions.
Corey
I know you do.
actually
I know. All right,
Yeah,
let's
Sean does get a lot of random questions.
let
from
me
us
let me
anyway.
put some questions in Corey's brain to then ask you. Okay, Corey, what's your favorite summer dinner that you're gonna make yourself? You got the day off. You're like, you know what? I've got the grill. I've got the oven. What is it that you are gonna make yourself
in the summer.
in the summer?
I either go. So all the time it's meatloaf. I'm just going to state that because I love meatloaf.
Sure,
So it doesn't-
You put
meatloaf
bacon in your
year
meatloaf?
round.
I'll eat any meatloaf. I don't care what's in it. You can put whatever you want.
Every time I go in the Mint, I'm like,
They have bacon in their
man,
meatloaf?
man, your meatloaf looks amazing. Can you take the bacon out of it?
Nope,
No.
never.
It's baked with it.
But
Craig's on your side on that one too. He hates
summertime, either like
Yes.
like tacos or a steak.
meatloaf. Okay, and so then what? When you do drink, do you have wine? Do you have beer? What do you usually drink?
I'm not the biggest drinker in the world
Sure.
anyway.
He drinks soda pop.
So like the other day, I went down to Mazatlan and
Thank you.
enjoyed some food.
Shout
and I
out
had a-
Mazalon.
Shout out Mazalon.
Yeah.
Did you mention the podcast?
Andy.
No, I talked to Andy, but we didn't talk about the podcast.
Well, you can get a discount.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fine. You want to support Andy like
I was
that? That's
supporting
very
Andy.
cool of you.
But I had a Pacifico with my meal. And
Uh-huh.
that was good. I don't drink a lot though.
Cerveza. Mexican
So
cerveza.
you know, Bud Light or Pacifico when I have something is fine with me.
Okay, so
I'm not a big, and Sean knows this for my own reasons. I don't drink a lot of
Oh, yeah.
IPAs and all that stuff.
I totally understand. Like he has like whatever health issues that he can't
right.
I would die.
condition.
But-
yeah,
Okay, so if you weren't gonna die,
I still force him to do it.
But now
Like, just try it.
but
Try
now-
it once.
But now I know Pub Light. I'm in now. I can go have Pub Light. Yeah.
okay, what
There's
about
no
this?
corn in public?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Summer, if people are grilling now like crazy.
Ceviche.
Ceviche's delicious. So people are grilling now. They're having they got the ribs out. Oh, 4th of July's coming up too.
Yeah.
So and last year, what I had done was that's what I bought. I bought 2 growlers and brought them out. I even took a picture of it, posted on Instagram and Facebook and all that. Made it look pretty,
Yeah.
nice and pretty
tagged
for
in
you.
Cole Street. Amazing.
It was
I
a
gave
good-
you a discount. Yeah.
It was
Maybe.
It was a good pick.
I gave you a thumbs up.
I cared it. But if people are going to have ribs or they're going to have that barbecue for the 4th of July, what beer do you like to pair?
Well, obviously,
And I'll give my recommendation after.
So with the smoky, if you're going like barbecue where you got some smoke, you got some barbecue sauce that has a little tang to it, a little
Yeah.
smoke. I go for like an amber that kind of blends with that. It stays right on that same level. But if you're going like spicy, like if it's a spicy barbecue or you're doing type of salsa or you're doing something that's more spicy, the IPA 100% like cuts down that spice. But at the end of the day, the IPA is also really good with the smoke too because it doesn't blend with it, but it kind of just melds with it. It puts down that kind of like too spicy. It's like more like a make it all come together.
That sounds awesome. And I already know I love
my
IPAs.
my
yeah.
2 top picks would be an
Amber
amber,
and IPA.
or IPA.
Now, I am a huge advocate for like a dessert beer. I didn't realize it until I started drinking more at Cole Street and having the blackberry or having the peach mango or having something, even the margarita, something a little sweet.
Right now is the strawberry blonde, 100%. Like the strawberries, I started a little bit early. The strawberries I was picking weren't quite as ripe as they should be. Now it's prime. We're on prime season right now.
Yeah.
And that's another great summertime. So if you're eating a salad, it really makes that
that's a
salad
good
pop.
call.
It's like throwing strawberries on your salad.
Right.
But
right.
you can't necessarily have strawberries thrown on
Well,
your salad.
that's the thing too, because it's like right now, most people have Monday off. July 5th will be off because Sunday is July 4th. And they may be able to enjoy some adult beverages while, celebrating the 4th of July because they know they're going to have the Monday off. Sometimes you don't get the 5th off. You just get the 4th off.
Which sucks.
So here's the perfect opportunity to be like, you know what?
I think there's going to be a big fireworks show this year.
Yeah, and I'm going to
everybody's releasing all their built up energy.
And also I'm going to enjoy some adult beverages like a beer. So what I would do I'm going to do, definitely get the double IPA. I love the double IPA. Or another IPA, whatever IPA is available. But if I see the double, I'm going for it. Say what?
Different IPAs on, correct.
Different? Okay. Yeah. And then when it comes to, I'm also going to get a growler this year. And I didn't do it last year. I just got an amber and an IPA. But I'm going to get another growler of whatever you have. Peach mango or strawberry blonde or whatever fruit. That is going to be so nice to just coast into the night with. Yeah. It's going to be great. Just to sit there and have like a dessert beer while you're watching the fireworks.
Grapefruit Radler should be coming on this week too. That's a really light one. That's like more sessionable. That's like that's only 4.8, so it's below 5%. It's sweet. It's got that citrus kind of to it from the grapefruit, but it's kind of like poppy. It's really fizzy, like on the tongue. So it's so light, so easy to drink.
Nice.
And that's a good, especially if you're going to be drinking all day. You start with that. And then dinner time, you switch over to the IPA.
There you go.
Which has a little bit higher alcohol content. Maybe if you're going to your double IPA where it's a 9%, I mean, that's more of an end game.
Travis all about 11 o'clock in the morning drinking that double.
Yeah, and done by 1 at the most.
Well, now that you're making me think about this, I think I may have to have like a Monday morning, like Monday afternoon, like because I'm going to have Tuesday off.
Yeah,
might as well just like keep it going.
And that's where I always go. Like it's a progression. So come down and get 4 different growlers. You got your grapefruit radler, which is super light. That's like start the morning. Actually, honestly, maybe the mango peach because that's more like mimosa kind of like sweetness. And then move on to your grapefruit radler, which is like easy drinking. And then go to like moving on to like an amber for lunch. You got your little barbecue going on, and then finish the day with like the IPA. Or double IPA.
I actually do have a question for you. And it's from a business standpoint.
Uh-oh.
All I see in the store right now that sells is hard seltzer, flavored hard seltzers.
Oh, stupid
from your point of view, do you get requests for it? And is it even anything that's worth your time?
I've done it. It's a frustrating one. It's almost like, for me, it's just like a joke. It's like there's I've done it and I've been successful with it. I just feel like I'm almost like I need to sell it cheaper, but then it takes up my tank where I could make
where you would have made the money off of the regular. Yeah.
Put what you put into it, you don't put anything into it. Like there's absolutely no I don't have to think about it. There's no ingredients. It's super cheap.
Yeah.
But
Did you find though that people came in and ordered it only because it said seltzer?
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yeah, they saw it on there, and that's where everybody's like argued, like you should definitely do it again. I'm like, my tanks are right now I'm ripping through tanks with all my other beers right now.
Right.
Yeah.
That the seltzer is just throwing it in there, and I just feel, and then if I lower the price, which I feel like my price point should be lowered anyways, I'm not going to lose money on it, but at the same time, I am kind of losing money because I didn't have something else in that
would have been at the higher price point.
Sure. But
and that's where it's just, for me, it's such a joke. I'm like,
but if you go down there to Cole Street, even though Sean doesn't like it, he still is there for his customers.
And I have the White Claw.
Variety, and hard cider as well that we've talked about in the past. Like so it's not and wines, like you said, like it's not and just.
I have a mead too.
Yeah, so he's got that available to you if that's all you drive or all you drink, or maybe that's all your girlfriend drinks, and so but you want the IPAs, you like the brew, but
I feel like every major company has jumped into that.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. They've also jumped into the non-alcoholic because that company that was in Canada, they perfected the whole de-alcoholize.
Really?
Yeah.
But they still have the flavor without that. Yeah.
So you can't make a beer without having alcohol in it. So you have to make the beer with all the flavor and then remove the alcohol. And that's why that process took so long to get. And I'd like to point that out. I have a couple new non-alcoholic beers at my place.
Nice.
It's kind of picked up in the requests. They're like, it goes two ways. Like some people come in there and they drink, 3 of my doubles. And they're like, man, I'm really feeling it, but I'm still hanging out with these 4 people.
Sure.
I'm like, hey, I got a non-alcoholic beer. It tastes like a beer. And in a glass, like they're not going to know.
Yeah.
Right.
So you still get that cool value and you're still getting like the flavor too.
That's a good call.
They're good flavored. And then on the flip side, there's the other people that come in and they're like, hey, I don't really drink beer. Do you have anything? I have a non-alcoholic beer. I mean, it still has whatever 0.003 alcohol. There is alcohol in it, but it's so minute and it's got a good flavor. So
yeah,
I found some great new ones.
The other thing I know we talk about Cole Street Brewer all the time, but you have other things for sale that's not even related in a sense to Cole Street Brewery. Yeah. You have tables, you have cribbage boards, you have other things. What are the things?
I used to have art. I still have a little bit of art, but not as much art. But so consignment, and those are all local people that have come in and asked. I have a great space where putting it out there. I'm a huge support local. Yeah. So if you're a local person and you have something to sell, with the tables, like it doesn't hurt me that it's there. Like I don't have to have a table
tables. They're beautiful tables.
And it's the same with the art. Like I'm not an artist and I don't really know art. So hanging stuff on my wall, I don't know what to put on my wall. These people come in and they hang their art that's for sale. Yeah. And maybe it's there and when it sells, then they just bring something else in there.
So
two-way street.
It's available for people to buy. Another new thing, if you go down to Cole Street, 1627 Cole Street, you've got an outdoor. You got 2 things that are a little bit like more centralized. You've got a beer garden in a sense.
Yeah, on the weekends I pull all the way out into the middle of the street. Huge beer garden.
I have the
only like beer garden downtown. Yeah.
And then you also have a new thing that's just been put up as well. We haven't talked about it yet on the outside.
Yeah, so my awning that I ordered in November finally got put up. All the COVID, like getting stuff. It took a long time to get that, but it's finally up, which is great because it reaches out a little bit farther. So when the sun's beating down, it protects right now. If there is, we're in Washington, so we'll have a week of sun and then a week of rain. Yeah. So then it has more of a covered area. So my outdoor, when if and when any of the street eatery stuff goes away, like I will have the largest outdoor area to sit.
And do you have? Everyone's asking this too. Do you have AC in your building?
100%. I don't like
this
the heat.
Heat wave will be your. Yeah.
I do not like the heat. I love the cold because I can keep putting layers on. With the heat, you can only take off so many layers, and then you're still freaking hot. So I have AC that is really good AC.
Yeah.
If you don't have AC at home, just come have a beer and hang out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, we have Wi-Fi, so come down. You need to finish.
I always feel like this is like one of those, and I love Brew. I always enjoy it, and I learn a lot. But there's some parts where I'm like, dude, like I feel like I'm on an infomercial, like those 30-minute ones where you're like halfway turning in, like this thing does everything. But yeah, no, it's true. Like, come down to freaking Cole Street. You'll enjoy your experience. You really will. There's plenty of room, plenty of tables. Whether you have a big group, small group, whatever,
or you're by yourself. Come down and talk to somebody,
dude.
Yeah, you'll meet somebody there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's where strangers become friends. Yeah. Neighbors become.
Play somebody in cribbage.
Yeah. And friends become enemies. I mean, it's a good spot.
No politics or religion are spoken in our place.
Speaking of that, I heard you guys talk about playing cribbage.
Yeah. Are you a cribbage guy?
We used to play team cribbage all the time.
I'll dominate you in cribbage.
You probably will. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning pegging is a huge
I'll
thing.
Count your points for you.
Here's how Craig,
last night. So
Craig takes your points.
I got lucky. I actually won one round.
Yeah, but Travis came down with his wife.
Yeah.
We hung out, but it is awkward, and both me and Jamie are just looking at each other, shaking our heads. The way Travis counts, he goes like 2, 4.
I count
15.
These are in 5.
15.
These are in 5s. Like 15, just count 5.
6,
10.
2 is 8.
Craig.
Like when he pegs.
Oh. I'm Craig on purpose.
He counts everything.
When someone says, like, I got 12, because they don't like it. They like the 5x5 or 10, whatever. If I get like 12 or 14 or 15, whatever, or even 7, I'm like 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13. They hate it. And all I can think about in my head is Craig would totally be signing off on this right now.
Well, unless you were playing me. Because I would absolutely... I'd just tell you what you had. I'd grab your cards.
You just grab the
and
peg.
just tell you to move the pegs.
You just got to move the pegs for it.
I learned how to play cribbage with Craig doing that, and if I miscounted, he took my points.
That's how Jamie
It's kind of
is,
like
too.
explaining a double run to him. It's 8 every time, unless you count your 15s first. That's
3,
the only
6,
thing
and a
that changes
pair.
that.
It's 8.
Every time.
Put those sunglasses back on. Your eyes got a little too intense.
That's no joke. You start talking cribbage. We had cribbage nights. He's into it.
I'm down too. I like anything that's fun or competitive when it comes to cards. Playing cards is so much fun.
You guys do team cribbage?
We've done that once. We actually have got some neighbors, Daryl and Kim. We played team cribbage, but last night we played 3-hand cribbage. We played it 2 different ways.
Do you play with a dummy hand?
So that's what we finished with. Where so you deal to 2 people and then you throw your throwaways to the third. That actually works out pretty good. That's not the way I've always played. Like you just deal all around and everybody ditches one and the stack gives you one.
If you guys like cribbage and beer, come down to Cold Street because I'm telling you, they got
If you
6
see
or
Travis,
7
challenge
boards.
him to cribbage.
Dude, I will play. Pull out Pokemon Go, and we'll play Pokemon Go at the same time, and we'll play cribbage. I'm down. Down.
It totally distracts him when he plays Pokemon Go.
It is.
It's fine. Just kick his ass
Gosh,
more,
my
but-
allergies are kicking my butt. Is it? You guys
It's
have
been
allergies
worse
at all?
this year.
It's
Like,
horrible.
At work, it's horrible for me.
Dude, I went to this isn't softball's hard talk, but I went to the game at Boise
Creek.
whatever, 4-plex or 6-plex, whatever we used to call it.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, they had like 2 tractors running. One was churning up. It was all mowed,
raking.
but they were
so they mow it.
Yeah.
They chop it.
Oh,
They rake it and then they bale it.
our outfield.
Come on,
the
talk
fence.
to a farmer here.
Yeah, it was just like, it just hit me. It was just like they were all like, all this hay was flying up in the air, all this dust, and they're like, "Hey, where should we go?" "Oh, that guy," and they just all flew right at me all at once. I've sneezed 3,000 times, and my eyes like
There's a
are on
big stack
fire
of-
right now.
Are you playing?
Yeah, that's a great conversation. No matter how many times they ask him to play.
It was too hard of a laugh over there.
He's like, the best position on the field is
Yeah.
catcher, which I totally agree with.
No, I
Because
was.
you don't have to do anything.
He kept score.
kept score.
Oh, did you keep score?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's the best. That's the you guys
Supposedly the right way.
don't- you guys don't.
He
oh
plays
my
left.
gosh.
Left out.
Yeah, I was left out, and I do that on purpose because my wife is good, and she'll freaking. You didn't get that. You didn't get that. You threw that ball in the parking lot. Like, why did you overthrow the fence? How did you even do that? That was 2 fields away.
So you
Like-
don't play so you don't get her to talk shit to you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay.
He's
She's
Mr.
so
Competitive
good.
that he sucks.
She's
When he
so
sucks, he
good.
doesn't
I'm not
wanna
going to play against with someone on my same team. So what I do instead is I boo her when she makes a mistake.
You threw over the
boo her
fence. What are you
entire
doing?
time. There was a spot where there was like 3 balls went by her, and I'm like, hot corner, more like not corner. and she got asked to play that game by my company's. Like, they were like, "Hey, we know your wife plays." Like, that was her first game with all these people that she doesn't know, and I'm just booing her as I'm keeping score. Anyway, moving on.
Did you cook the books?
No, we got murdered.
Okay.
Young Con was on the other
Was
team,
he?
Not Young
and
Con.
Whoa.
18.
Wrong
18.
name.
18.
And I told him,
Young Con.
like, there was a point where I'm like, dude, you guys are up like
Young Sean
16
Connery?
points. I'm like, could you please just like,
Why was he on the other team? I thought his wife worked with you.
it's true, but he was with these like
Did
these young,
he drive his moped up to the
and
game?
all these people. It was like, oh, these guys were the fast pitch team of 2013. I'm like, all
So?
right, well, they crushed us. But yeah,
Did he drive his moped up?
no, but he even told me, he's like, hey, the dude is like, if you know who this guy is,
18.
he's like a sun or a moon that has like a smiley face the entire time. Like
Yeah,
every
that's true.
cartoon smiley face you've ever seen, he just smiles. Like a cop would pull him over and say, "Hey,
He'd be super
license-"
nervous,
He'd
wiggling,
like,
but he'd be smiling.
he'd
the
be like,
whole time.
"Oh, you need my license registration?" here you go. And he just had, like, someone say, hey, your house burnt down. He'd be like, oh, they did? Okay. Well, time to buy another one.
I wish people could see your face.
Yeah. He's just so smiling. Anyway, he's like, could you tell Casey that I need to play this Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday night so I don't get fat? And I'm like, sure. You just demolished us, you jerk. But
then
anyway.
he had a beer. Because this is Brew Haha.
It is Brew Haha. He's a good guy. And I've seen him down there. Seen his wife and his kid. Or not
they come and drink
kids.
Ciders.
His friends. They'll come down there and
kids. They're all kids.
They're literally
his
like
young
23
group.
and down there. But
they come in quite a bit.
I had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry. It was good. This is more therapy for me than Brew Haha.
Where's the haha?
That's not.
There's nothing. It's
People are laughing at me while you
for
talk.
Sure.
Well, that happens on most of your guys.
Yeah.
And I've listened to the last couple. I would say this though, John.
Yeah, you
John
commented.
Dude,
You
I'm
said
gonna tell you right now. I listened
episode.
to today or
Yeah.
Mondays.
So good.
I've never met that guy.
Yeah.
I would honestly. He seems like somebody who'd be awesome to hang out with.
I know he has such a even keel.
Were
The
you
whole time he's like,
Were you surprised that he was a Slayer guy the way he was talking?
Oh, I know. That's the other thing.
Kind
He's
of.
like, I used to headbang when I had hair.
But you could kind of tell the way he talked though. The guy's a musician. I don't know why, but I could.
Yeah.
Big metal guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. We're getting towards the end of it. Anything that you wanted to add before we sign off and go to the shout outs?
Yeah, not much. I mean, Sundays on Cold is going to start the first weekend of July. But yeah, I mean, it used to be Friday night market. Now it's switching to like a Sunday. Music on Saturdays and Sundays for
Live
sure.
music outside on the right
No,
in front
it's
of
not
you.
my music, to be clear.
It's not yours, but
in
it's
the park across
but
the
it's
street
like
from
across the street in a sense. But you can enjoy it for the beer garden.
Yep.
And you can still order food. I know that back in COVID land, it was like, hey, you were helping out. Like, hey, you can order from the Rainier or the Mint. Are you guys still doing that?
I have the small menu, a little bit from everybody. Yep.
Okay, so people can still order food if the wait's too long. That line's too long to sit there.
Come over to my place. I personally think like coming over to my place is much quieter. You go into a restaurant,
you get a
it's all
table
banging
immediately,
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Coming to my place is much quieter.
Yeah, and the food's pretty fast too. It's
decently.
Yeah, you're gonna have a beer or two, probably play some cribbage, and get some food. So you're not changing anything of that. That's staying the same.
Nope, that's staying the same. Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then any shout outs that we got before we go? We should do some shout outs. We'll hit Craig first this time.
I got 2 shout outs.
Ooh, 2.
I'm gonna go 1 because we're on Brew Haha.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give Sean a shout out, and anybody that comes down to Cole Street drinking some beer. We're down there a lot. If we're down, come over and say something. If you know who I am. If you don't, well,
find out who I am.
And then my
I'll be
second,
the guy with the bandana and sunglasses on, staring at you.
I'll be the guy next to Carrie.
Yeah. Second shout out because it's Monday morning now.
Yeah.
And Friday, I didn't get a chance to shout them out.
Yeah.
This last weekend, my mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them a shout out for
That's
that.
great. That's awesome.
Holy shit! Yeah, 50 years. Damn.
That's incredible. That's insane.
It's a long
wait.
time.
50 years.
Long time.
Wait. Time out. I'm doing the math
She
in my
was
head.
16.
No.
I was on. Yeah, they waited 10 years before they had me.
I was going to say that. Oh,
She was 16 when she got married.
okay. I thought you said she had Craig.
Oh, no,
I was
no,
like,
no.
Craig's
They
like,
waited a while.
Yeah.
But
They waited quite a
They
was
waited
super-
a while.
Yeah.
A while.
Yeah.
Wow. It's impressive. All right. Corey, do you have your shout out? Have you given it time yet?
Yeah, you guys for having us on. Brew Haha. That's been awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out and trying this out.
Yeah, and then for Sean, too, it's been awesome seeing from concept when you wanted to start all this to where you are now. It's amazing. It's awesome, and congratulations on everything, man.
Yeah, it's going all right.
Yeah. It's fun.
Still here. So I want to shout out the Bentley brothers.
Sure.
I mean, I've known them for a long time. Appreciate them. Done a lot of fun things together, traveling, playing ball together, drinking hella beer. They're always great. Like concept wise, I'm always like throwing stuff at them. Really appreciate you guys coming on the show.
I want to shout out the people that when I go by the beer garden, I always kind of sneak a peek while I walk by. And I've had a few people like shout me, "Hey, come over," and I'll go and I'll sit there and I'll talk with them or have a beer with them. Do that. That makes it fun for me too. I want to know who's listening. I want to know. In fact, I'm sure Sean wants to know who's listening too.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get a discount, if you're afraid, hey, just listen, and that's it. You know, if you don't want to take a picture, we get that. We understand that. That happens, right? People don't want to put everything out there out on Facebook. But let Sean know you listen, and then also we just want to just shout out all the beer tenders: Emily, Rachel, Sam, Chris is still doing it.
Ashley is coming on. Joe is on.
That's great, and then. Also realize that the way Cole Street is, they open relatively around what time every day?
Weekdays at 2 p.m., weekends, Friday through Sunday at noon.
And it's just like any other food service industry, where if it seems like it's starting to die out, that they will, start to, lock things up, do last call.
Shut her down.
And be respectful of that as well. If you're the only one sitting there drinking, probably is the time, there's other places to go, but this person is not going to stay open for you, even though they'll welcome you at 2 p.m. the next day. Yeah. So just be respectful of them, and then also, tip them well. Cash is king.
Yeah, always tip the bartender.
Be good to people.
Be good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Have a great week. Have a great 4th of July, and
America.
America.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Making your way in the world today, you really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to Two Guys Brew, ha ha. Cole Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, 2 of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode?